World of Tanks was released as the 0.5.3 version. Few people remember how the game looked back then. The graphics have improved over time, and the game looked much better by the 7.4 update. The maps were still pretty dark, however, and the landscape consisted only of valleys and hills of different heights. The next stage in development began with the 8.0 update. Major changes were made to both graphics and gameplay. Lighting, shadows, and reflections were improved thanks to a new graphics engine. Colors became saturated and the maps looked very different. Many scenic locations appeared, and the landscapes became more interesting. This palette was not historically authentic, however, and the game could not stay like that. Nevertheless, the introduction of a modern renderer had opened the way for further development in the graphics. Realistic lighting and colors were now the main goals, and thanks to new technologies, progress has been made. Another major step is taken in the 8.10 update. One of the new features is a modification to the lighting calculations. The same landscapes will now look much more realistic. The difference compared to the earlier versions will be obvious. Atmospheric effects will now behave realistically. Fog will gather in the lowlands, and mist will thin out higher up, dispersing sunlight. This looks especially good in the evening light. A sunset in World of Tanks will now be something special. The sun was also changed along with the atmosphere. It will now look like the real thing. Many more adjustments were made to further improve the graphics. Changes to the bloom effect, adding a light breeze, moving cloud shadows, and a background motion blur effect when moving the camera. There's still one more unusual feature in this long list of upgrades: a cinematic film effect. Players can change the game's color scheme as they like by selecting different options from the styling menu. The visual evolution of World of Tanks is not over. Progress towards an even more realistic in-game atmosphere will go on.